For over a decade now, Eugenia Cooney's extremely thin frame has sparked intense concern from her fans, and last year, some had become so worried about her well-being that they dialed 911 and implored law enforcement to step in.
Oops. Whoa. Ow. Oh, I just kind of tripped over a light. Ow. Alright, I'm fine, guys. Hold on.
She ended up making a post in September captioned, "Have to meet with the mobile crisis team today because people keep making crazy calls. Haha." Over the last 10 years, Eugenia's videos have featured a smiley, bubbly young girl who loved experimenting with makeup and dressing up in cosplay. And the views soon came pouring just a couple of years later. But as Eugenia's popularity soared, her weight began to dwindle. It didn't take long for her rapidly growing fan base to become fiercely worried about her frail body. These worries about her health only intensified the public's fascination with Eugenia's personal life. Over the years, rumors began to swirl about her family and her upbringing, and some began accusing her mom of forcing her to post content against her will for the sake of money. Some people also have theories that Eugenia likes the attention on social media, and they believe it makes her feel better the more people point out how much skinnier she's gotten. Now, Eugenia has been fairly active and consistent on her social medias, but that took a turn 2 months ago. Things were fine until December 31st of 2023, where Eugenia had made her last post before disappearing for an entire 2 months, which, as you could expect, worried a lot of people, considering the condition of her health. People started questioning if she was banned on TikTok because she would go live on TikTok pretty frequently before she stopped posting on any of her social medias. There was word on the street that Eugenia was banned off of TikTok, or TikTok had put some sort of restriction to her account due to the condition of her body during the time. I did see people all over her comments on her social media saying that her account was age restricted by TikTok, and I did some further digging, and it could actually be because of this specific rule on TikTok's website, specifically pertaining to eating disorders and triggering content, which I could see why TikTok would finally put some sort of restriction to Eugenia's account. There was this video that went viral not too long ago that showed the current state of Eugenia's body, and it was very concerning to a lot of people. I mean, no one had ever seen her this thin before. Over the last decade, people have been imploring Eugenia as well as her family to get the treatment that she needs, and it seems like things just haven't gotten better at all, unfortunately. People have been demanding TikTok to step in for quite some time now when it comes to Eugenia's account, because a lot of people believe that she is influencing younger people to have eating disorders, or essentially normalize the type of body that she has. I could see why her account could be age restricted, because the type of stuff that she posts is not okay for children to see. Well, as the months went by, you guys, people started questioning if Eugenia was even alive or not. There was even a fake obituary going around just a couple of weeks ago, but it was confirmed that it was fake. Ultimately, people just wanted some sort of update on Eugenia these last few months. In mid-January, a month from Eugenia's last post, people noticed Eugenia had popped up on Jeffree Star's live, sending him a gift on TikTok. After about another month, Eugenia went radio silent again, and she was nowhere to be seen. Even though this wasn't Eugenia speaking out on social media herself or anything, this still gave people some sort of hint or sort of relief that she was still alive, seeing that she gave a gift to Jeffree Star on live. Eugenia has been pretty close with Jeffree Star over these last few months. They'd been on TikTok live together a lot, and Jeffree was asked about Eugenia a couple of weeks ago, and here's what he had to say on where she was, since everyone's anxiety for her only increased as the days went by, and they felt like he was the only one that could give some sort of answer as to whether she was even okay or alive or not. Jeffree Star gave a vague answer, but he did say that she was fine and that she was just going through some things with TikTok, apparently.
Eugenia's doing all right, you guys. I just talked to her this morning. She's at home. She's been going through it with TikTok, so that's what's been going on, to be honest.
Now, some people believe Jeffree Star, but others took what he said with a grain of salt. They wanted to hear Eugenia up front herself and see her on camera to see how she was doing physically, and a lot of people just hoped this would be the time she would have actually stayed off of social media to get treatment and finally take care of herself, which gave people some hope and optimism as to her being off of social media. But we finally got an update from Eugenia herself 2 whole months later after she posted a video just yesterday on TikTok, and boy was it a relief to everyone on social media. She starts off by apologizing for her disappearance and said that she just wasn't feeling it mentally. She also did add that TikTok apparently put some sort of restriction on her account that hindered her ability to post, but to this people had to say, then how come she wasn't posting on her other social media platforms? They thought this was sketchy, saying things like, I think this age restriction thing is a cover-up and she was forced to go to rehab. I think that if she was banned and if it was just a thing with TikTok, why hadn't she voiced her frustration on other platforms? She dropped off all social media, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, all of it. Doesn't make sense. If it's a problem with TikTok, why wouldn't she just post on YouTube? If she's just frustrated with TikTok, why does she disappear from Instagram and YouTube too? I think she's getting help. Eugenia was more indirect in her comeback video. She didn't really say what was going on behind the scenes, which was what people were most concerned about, and all over the comments, people were telling her that they really hope she is actually getting the treatment that she needs. She was wearing a hoodie in this TikTok, so I think that she was being a bit more careful with the type of content that she posts. If TikTok did actually put some sort of restriction to her account or talk to her behind the scenes about the type of content she's posting, because usually she is posting more revealing content where it does expose more of her body, and that can be triggering according to TikTok's policy, as well as triggering to children and other people who come across her content where she's trying out all these different clothes, and it just seems like it is normalized to have this type of body.
Guys, so I just kind of wanted to come on here and say that I'm sorry that I haven't really been posting or been around. There's kind of just been like a lot going on, and honestly I just haven't really been like feeling like mentally up to it. I guess right now some of you guys might have seen or figured out that there's been like some pretty big changes to my account right now, and first of all I just want to be clear that, like, you know, I respect TikTok's decision and everything. I'm really sorry for anything that I may have accidentally done wrong, like on my end. I just really haven't been feeling like that great mentally. I know like there'll be some people that, you know, will get kind of mad at me not being around and think like I'm trying to scare people or like whatever, but that's really not the case. That's just kind of like a lot of this like happening like so suddenly, and this app has been such a big part of my life like this last year. Pretty much I feel like all of my friends are on here. I feel like me just kind of like sitting in my room being sad isn't really doing any good either. In the future, I want to just kind of like try to do things better and say that I'm sorry about videos that I think when I put out, I wasn't really maybe like thinking much about. Looking back, I'm just kind of trying to like reflect on things, and always do want to be clear to everybody that I never would mean any harm. That's never my intention. I guess a lot of the time I've just kind of seen it as like people just kind of like judging me about how I look, or, you know, like maybe not as big of a deal as like how some people would like take.
Eugenia also talked about how she felt about certain people seeing her as a problem.
I think like sometimes I'm just kind of so used to some people, not everybody, but some people just being so mean to like the point where I kind of feel like people just kind of see me as like a problem and kind of forget that I'm a human, which is okay. You know, I'm not trying to like say this just with me. I think like sometimes though, it's just important to just like remember that like we're all people and that we're all just kind of learning. We're all gonna make mistakes sometimes.
Anyways guys, this has been the update on Eugenia Cooney. It has been a while since we have talked about her, but it's interesting to see how she'll take her content here on out, if she's going to be more vigilant about showing her body and just the specific type of content she's posting. We'll have to let time play it out, but ultimately hopefully Eugenia is finally really getting the treatment that she needs, as everyone else hopes as well. I definitely want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.